Refineries. So we also do quite a lot of work in refineries around the world. We work in API separators or oil water separation ponds to help the refinery recover the surface oil, heavy surface oil. So our RBS Triton skimmers, this model here is called the RBS Triton 100, so 100 cubic meters an hour, all built in stainless steel because of the corrosiveness in the environment in a refinery. Also, air operated diaphragm pumps. Most refineries use air for safety, and so we're able to plumb into the air system and we provide the pumping system to recover the oil here. These two skimming systems here, as you can see, they have stainless steel discs, again, because of the corrosive nature of the refinery. It's a little bit better shot of some RBS Triton 100s in stainless steel here, as you can see. This one here actually has a pump on board, a diaphragm pump, stainless steel diaphragm pump, air driven. This one here has a disc, and this one has a brush system for heavier oil. Continuous use. We've had these machines run in refineries here in Vancouver, in Saudi Arabia, in many parts around the world, continuously for year after year after year. Some of the other types of equipment that we manufacture are weir skimmers. Now, weir skimmers aren't as efficient as our RBS Triton oleophilic skimmer, but they are they're cheaper, but you do pick up a lot more water. So we use them as a last resort, but we do manufacture and provide these. As you can see, this is a little weir system. It can be used with a single pump or used with a vacuum truck to recover oil on the surface of the water. These ones have floating bellows or floating weirs. So we have an Aqua-Weir 30 all the way up to 250, actually to a 250 machine. Um, Here you can see this too. This one has thrusters on it, has a floating hose system. This is offshore Brazil. Um, and then this one is a large system. It's a Aqua-Weir 250, so 250 cubic meters an hour. Uh, Great looking machine. But again, they aren't anywhere as efficient as our RBS Triton skimming technology, where we're getting 98 to 99% oil with our RBS Tritons. With the Aqua Weirs, we'll be lucky to get 70, 75% oil if it's extremely thick oil. So it is something that is our clients do consider, but ultimately what they do is they buy this, and then they also, after they realize they really need something more efficient, and then they'll buy a RBS Triton 150 or a 300 head to complement it as well, to get the higher efficiencies. Now, heavy oil, um, when we run into ultra heavy oil situations, so this could be offshore, this could be in a recovery pond or recovery pit. In northern Canada here, we have pits that are full of very heavy viscous oil. So what we use there is we call it a RotoX ultra heavy oil skimming system. So again, this is mounted in our 150 or RBS Triton 150 machine, and we have a macerator on the front of the machine, as you can see here. This is in Venezuela, where we're using the system to recover oil out of some pits. These pits have been sitting there for many years, where oil is dumped, like the old oil is dumped, the waste oil is dumped, and it's solidified on the surface. Big problem. You can't pump it. It's extremely difficult. So what we've done is provided a macerator on the front end of our RBS Triton 150, and it's able to chew up the oil, the oil rafts that are floating in these ponds. As you can see this here, this is also in Venezuela, and there'll be a video here showing the system. So here's the macerator. As you can see in the drawing, there's the macerator on mounted in the skimming system here. And now we're lowering it into a pit. And now we're able to macerate and chew up that extremely heavy oil mats on the front, and it blends it, and we're able to use the brush system. It pushes it into our low pump, which is able to recover extremely heavy viscous oil, and it basically turns it into a liquid again, and it's able to pump it. And this shot here shows it's a closed circuit, so we show you how it actually is able to turn it back into a liquid, and we're able to pump this stuff out of the pits, which is an extremely difficult thing, and it helps so many clients with this problem around the globe, because how do you do it? It's a very difficult process, but we have the solution here, and it works extremely well. Oil and ice. So the same machine, our RotoX 150 machine with the macerator, we were hired by the U.S. Coast Guard to build a machine and have it for testing in the high Arctic with broken ice. Um, so as you can see here, the machine has our macerator on the front. It's able to chew up ice, and it also has thrusters on the side. So you can see it's driven. And the U.S. Coast Guard, what they wanted to test was the maneuverability of our RotoX system maneuvering in broken ice. And as you can see here, it maneuvers very nicely. The report was extremely well received by the U.S. Coast Guard. And the macerator on the front is able to break up some of the ice and push it through the machine, and the brush is there to recover the oil and pump it back into your tankage on your vessel. So as you can see here, it's moving quite nicely through the ice. So in the high Arctic, or off in Antarctica, off Chile and Argentina, this would be a really nice machine to be able to use or have on standby in the event of a spill in ice. You can see it here. It's pushing, so it can push some of the icebergs away, and it can process, works through the broken ice. It actually it's quite strong as it pulls itself up on top of the ice sometimes. But yeah, it's a great adaptation for using our RBS TRITON 150 in ice. You can see the size of it. It's a fairly large machine. There's two of our team here. Beside it, the macerator you can see at the front of the machine here in orange. And yeah, so that's our RBS TRITON 150 with a RotoX on the front of it, the macerator.